What's up, graphic designers? In today's class, we're going to learn how to use the brush tool to create an illustration featuring a house, maybe some grass and a tree. And here are a few more examples that lab students created over the years, including Alice way back in 2015, based on this video that I produced. And you'll notice that Photoshop evolves. And here's another video from 2011. So certainly the current version of Photoshop has lots more bells and whistles, but these core elements remain the same, as does student creativity. So you're going to open up the blank, or you can simply click File and then New, and we've got lots of options at the top. If you click Print and then look for Legal, and we're going to swap the orientation 90 degrees to landscape mode, so it looks a little bit like this. The width is 14 inches, the height is 8.5. We're going to press Create, and then I'm going to press Command 0, and that's going to maximize the canvas on the screen. All right, so this is tremendous. Here's what I know. Before I do anything, I'm going to click the New Layer tab in the bottom of the Layers palette, or simply press Command-Shift-N. And I'm going to go to the foreground color. I'm going to change it from black, and we'll get this deep blue. That looks great. I'm going to press OK. And here is how the brush tool works. Well, it's on the left side of the toolbar. We know that the Move tool is on the top. And right underneath the Spot Healing brush tool, you're going to find the brush tool. Or you simply can press B to pull it up. All right. This is what's going to happen. I'm going to right click, and then we've got lots of options to choose from. It might look a little something like this initially, and here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to open up the General Brushes folder. Beautiful. And I'm going to click Soft Round, and you'll notice the hardness is at 0%, and the size right now is, let's increase it to 258 pixels, sure. So it's going to look a little something like this. That looks kind of cool. If I right click and then I increase the hardness to 100%, and I create a visual, it's going to look a little bit like this. So the effect certainly is different. If I simply click once with the hardness at 100%, it's going to create a perfect circle. If I drop hardness down to 0%, it's going to create something that looks far more soft. That makes sense. That's obvious. I'm going to press Delete, and then I'm going to press Command-Shift-N, Enter. And here's what I know. If we're going to be creating a house, tree, some grass, I'm going to be thinking about where I want to start, and I'm going to press OK, and I'm going to click, left click, and I'm going to create my sky. But this, ladies and gentlemen, is going to take forever. I'm going to right click, I'm going to increase the diameter of the brush to, let's try 1400. Wow. So that is pretty efficient, and you might be thinking, Droz, why didn't we just use the paint bucket tool? We learned that tool yesterday. That works. That does the same thing. There's always so many different routes that we can take as we explore this program. I'm going to press Command-Shift-N, Enter. I'm going to press B for brush. I'm going to right click. I'm going to reduce the size now to, let's say 78, and I'm going to increase the hardness to 100%, and we're going to draw a little house. And you know what? I like this color right there. That looks great. And so it's going to be maybe a quadrilateral with a triangle on top. We got this little pitched roof. And that looks okay. I'm going to create a new layer. And I'm going to do that once more, but this time I'm going to hold Shift while I do it. So I'm holding Shift. I left click once, and then I'm left clicking again. I'm simply tapping the left button on my mouse. And you'll notice that when you hold Shift, it sort of connects the dots and makes straight lines. And that looks a little bit better, right? I'm going to use the Move tool. I'm going to shift this over. I'm going to press Command-T. I'm going to reduce the size. I'm going to press Check to confirm. I don't love this house over here, so I'm simply going to press Delete. It's gone. Ta-ta. All right. We're going to maybe create a little door. I'm going to actually press B for the brush tool. I'm going to right-click, drop the size of the brush. I'm going to hold Shift. Boom, boom, boom. Maybe a little window. Great. A little window pane. And you know what? If we had a little bit more time, I might modify the size of the brush. And now I'm going to make white the foreground color. I'm going to click on the paint bucket, and now we can simply fill in those panes. And that looks kind of cool. Great. All right. So here's what I know. That's all well and good. I'm going to press B. I'm going to right click. And I can see that we've got a number of options. If I open up this folder, we've got Dry Media Brush, Wet Media Brush, and then Special Effects. We're going to stay out of Special Effects right now. In fact, we're going to stay out of all of these brushes. And instead, what we're going to do, check this out, guys, is we're going to look in the lower right-hand corner of this brush panel, and when we left click and drag this right corner, we can change the size, and that's going to come in handy in a second. I'm going to draw my attention to this little gear in the upper right-hand corner. And when I left click and open it up, I noticed at the very bottom it says legacy brushes. I'm going to open up the legacy brushes. It's going to ask us to restore. You're going to say sure. You're going to say okay. And now when you right click, we have this legacy brushes folder. I'm going to open it up. I'm going to open up default brushes, and there's so many brushes you can choose from. But I'm going to take a look. We've got spatter, we've got star, we've got chalk, but I'm looking for grass, and I've just found it. I'm looking for dune grass. Why not? So I'm good. I'm gonna select a light green, and here's what's really critical. I'm gonna create a new layer. I'm gonna right click, increase the size. That's way too big. Let's try 316, and you'll notice that this grass is a combination of the foreground and the background color. So I'm gonna zoom in a tad, and we've got green in the foreground, black in the background. I'm gonna press Command Z to undo. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make the background not black, but like a light, super light green. It's essentially white. And now when I left click, ooh, that's kind of cool, right, guys? I'm going to press Command minus to zoom out. Actually, I'm going to press Command 0 to fill the screen. I'm going to right click. I'm going to make this a little bigger. All right, so there we've got some grass. That looks awesome. And you know what? I'm going to click to layer 3. I'm going to give this house a little bit more depth. All right, let's have it approximately this color. Boom. Okay, that looks great. Beautiful. I'm moving the house. I'm shifting the house over. That looks kind of cool. I'm going to create a new layer between the background, that blue background, and the house. And I'm now going to add a tree. I'm going to press B, right click, and I'm going to hop to the very top, out of legacy brushes to general brushes. I'm going to get the hard round brush. I'm going to drop to, let's say, I don't know, 99 or 100, and we'll make this, let's make this like a dark brown. Yeah, approximately right there. We're eyeballing it. We're feeling a little creative. All right, so we've got the trunk, and we're gonna have something that looks a little bit like this. Here are the branches coming out. You can be super creative. Yours probably is gonna look much better than mine. Some of the branches, of course, will be a lot lighter. I'm gonna create a new layer. I'm gonna right click. I'm gonna go back to legacy brushes. Let's look for some maple leaves. We got the leaf brush projection, but we've also got scattered maple leaves. I like that a lot. It's the fall, and that should maybe be reflected in our painting. And I'm simply left clicking, and that looks awesome. If you like this and you think this is tremendous, you can leave it. If you don't love it and it's on its own layer, you can simply press delete and you can start over. So I'm going to right click, I'm going to drop down the size a little bit, and that looks amazing. All right, I'm really curious about what you'll be able to produce today. I cannot wait to see your work. You're going to write your name, you're going to save it as a JPEG, include the date. Let me know if you have any questions. Good luck.